Dun 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 dun. Welcome back. Glad you made it. It's another social production. That's right, we're doing it, ladies and gentlemen, on July the 31st, the end of the month, 2026. Wherever you're tuning in from, if it's your first time, buckle up, buckle down. If you've been with me for some time, then still bug. It's good to put your seatbelt on. It's the end of the month. Welcome to the show, wherever you're tuning in from, whether it's Canada, further down south, with me familiars in the United States of America, all the way further down south, Mexico's, South America, Europe, Asia, Africa, Antarctica, Papua New Guinea, New Zealand, Australia's, Croatia, the Czech Republic, over there in the Congo, over there in Zanzibar, over there in Thailand, over there in Vietnam, by the way, we'll get to Vietnam later, in the water, in the depths of the ocean, up in the clouds, in the stratosphere, over there on the moon, on Saturn, on Pluto, Jupiter. You're on the sun. How are you walking on the sun? Aren't your feet burning? Maybe you like that. Maybe it's all over mind over matter type shit. Maybe you can walk on the sun, which is, if you can do that, that's crazy. Get a close up, please. Hello, neither here or there, but we're here doing it together. It's Friday. Let's get a sip, and if we may together start the show with, of course, a sectional asphalt allegation has been made. Whom has been accused of alleged sectional asphalt allegedly? It's Jared Leto, apparently. Like this does not make me happy in any aspect. It does, because again, you grow up watching certain people, you like their movies, or you even like their music. They've even got a band, multi-talented actor, Academy Award winner. This isn't some bum off the street who just took his time or her time to learn his or her craft. We're talking about Academy Award winner. This isn't no fucking theater school aficionado or a connoisseur of movies and food. We're talking about an Academy Award winner. God damn it, Jared Leto. He's been accused, ladies and gentlemen. I'll say this again: learning over the years. You learn and you grow and you make better. You realize that there's more to things than may appear. So before anything, I will say this: innocent till proven guilty, but nonetheless, let us get right into it, please. I don't know what has happened. Apparently, the BBC has made a documentary about sectional asphalt allegation. I'm not sure, to be honest with you. It's either sectional asphalt allegations or sexual assault. They sound very similar. You're like, that guy's been allegedly involved in some sectional asphalt. Allegedly, the allegations are out there. Yeah, that guy, sectional asphalt. So I don't know. Apparently there's a documentary, but who knows? Multiple women have apparently over the year, the underage type shit. I don't know. I heard as low as 17-year-olds. Somebody apparently, allegedly, I don't know. Again, I like the guy, like some of his movies, like some of his music growing up. So you don't want this stuff to be, but same, and you don't want victims to be there either. So what is it? Is it a cash grab? Are these the types of bitches that we should be listening to, or are they scheming, conniving bitches, them hoes trying to grab? I ain't saying she a gold digger, or she ain't messing with no broke. And you say it this time. No, you say it this time, please. I don't know what he did. Apparently, here's the thing: if Jared Leto has to go out there and force himself, then good luck to the rest of us. That's what I'll say. If this beautiful 50-something-year-old man who has not aged for, I think he's probably even older. I think he's older. They're probably not even telling us. I don't know. Does he check some of the lists, like the boxes on the list of what it would take to be a Hollywood predator? Does he? I don't know. Sure. Does he look a little bit weird? Of course. He's in Hollywood. He's like top elite type. If you wear, for certain roles, I don't know. This is all from the outside perspective looking in, hearing things from your elders, your unks, that sometime maybe, drop a little nugs. Why is somebody beginning, to wear dresses to get certain roles? Black or white, doesn't matter. What are they into? Or is it just the arts? And if it's just for the arts, we support it. Or was there more to wearing a dress in certain scenes, in certain movies? Who knows? Again, carrying a figure of your own, carrying your own head to a red carpet event does not bode well. If you have sectional assault allegations later on, you're like, man, I wonder if this guy's going to be, charged with sectional assault because the allegations. Like, let's look at him, see if he does anything out of the norm. Oh, what is this? Oh, we better not catch this guy carrying it. He better not be carrying a replica of his own head, because that'd be fucking weird, wouldn't it? But then you look, like, oh my God, he's carrying a replica of his own head. This is not, but still we may not jump to conclusions. It just might be an innocent instance of a gala that the elite lizardry attend on occasions. All right, there's the in front of cameras parties, and then there's the behind the cameras after hours parties where they go to beautiful mansions, and it's a lot of sexual activities. It's an orgy. It's a festival of sexual sex magic, maybe a little bit of blood sacrifice, maybe a little bit of, drawing pentagrams and doing weird dances, perhaps with your titties out, and maybe eating food off of, the help. You have the help on tables. One of them is they don't speak English. The help does not speak English. They've been told they will be given $5,000 and they will lay on the table so you can eat sushi off their naked bodies. They don't know they're gonna die after. That's part of the gig. Their families will be supported. By that I mean we wrote them a check for $10,000. That's good enough for them. Who knows? I mean, does he, eyeliner? Is it innocent eyeliner like we all dabbled with at a certain time in our lives, or is there more to the eyeliner? Whom knows? 17-year-old. I don't know about that one. Because again, I don't know where it happened. I had to look into it. Is it a state where 17 is just as good as 18? Do different states have different ages of consent? Whom knows? People who thoroughly do the searching would probably know, but yeah. We'll let the man have his day, and if it gets any further, the BBC has dropped the doc, and that's not any regular network. This is the Big Black Cock Network. Was it the BBC? Was it the Big Bukkake Committee? I don't know what it stands for, to be honest with you. Big Beautiful Clitoris Network. It could be the Big Black Clitoris Network. It could be that. Could be that. I don't know what the BBC stands for, but it's a network, I think. And again, I might be completely off. Again, this might just be about sectional asphalt, which gets confused. Oftentimes, many people are like, "Oh, I better not go near that guy. You heard what he did," and you're like, "What do you do?" You're like, "Oh, that guy, sexual assault." And later you dig into, you're like, "Nah, he's allegedly doing sectional asphalt," and that's two different things. It's just like doing asphalt in a section and like not doing the entire area that you promised people to take care of, and you grabbed all the money and you ran out. You dipped out halfway through the work. You took all the money, or you ran away with the money, and you didn't finish the job. And that's sectional asphalt allegations. Way different. Which I prefer anybody out there to, if there's a choice to be had, I suggest you go with the sectional asphalt. Is way better than the sexual assault allegations, but nonetheless. And there's always a pro and con to everything, and of course, if it's true, then so be it. Time will tell, and if it's not, then there should be some sort of severe consequences for damage to his good name. What is it? Slander? Is that slander? Is that defamation? Defamation. I think it's defamation. It's when you know what defamation is. It's like, oh, you could hear. You're gonna be deaf now. You got defamated, son. You go say goodbye to your hearing. Defamation. Of course, it could have been far worse. And if it happens to be a negative story, if it's not false, we could always come back and say, even if it were true, there were sort of like, there's levels to everything. There could have been far worse. There's the Harvey Weinstein. You could get Harvey Weinstein, which that guy, we've heard with the rumors of missing I don't know what's going on with his junk, but apparently it's got a fucked up peen. Apparently Harvey Weinstein it's got like a testicle missing or stapled to his thighs, or it's got gangrene on the tip of his cock. It's got boils and bubbles, and who knows? there's a lot of pus and it's oozing. I think so there's levels to everything. It's not good, of course, I'm not trying to make light of this, but I'm just saying at least you can, in the grand scheme of things, be like, somebody flashed me or, made me touch their peen. At least it wasn't some hideous, disgusting ogre like Weinstein, whereas you look at that guy, you're like, yeah, it would make sense. It would make sense for that guy to do that thing. But yeah, in my heart, that I feel like I'm gonna say I don't know. All that's in my heart, I don't know. But I could be completely wrong. It could be another case of who knows, dark stuff that might come out in the near future. Again, I don't want to jump the gun. I'll give again, innocent till proven guilties, I think. Right? Yeah, of course. Hells yes. 30 seconds till you touch this cock. How about that album? Ladies and gentlemen, what have we been talking about? It's Friday. But if you've seen something or heard something about any sort of sectional asphalting, please, let your voices be heard or something. But also, if it happens, come out quickly, please. Don't wait 30 years. Nonetheless, or do wait 30 years. You gotta wait for them to really get famous so you can get some money. You can't just, because if it's a nobody, who cares? You gotta wait for them to get some cash so you can get some monies. But the point is, who knows? We'll find out. We stand with the truth and justice for all. Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on in Europe? I don't think Europe's doing well right now. From what I hear, I'm not there, of course. Europe could be doing superb right now, and this could just be things that I sometimes see online. Over the past they've had wildfires. These are crazy fires, apparently. I don't know what's causing it. I think there might be some arson. Ists, plural, maybe, I don't know. Feels like I feel like it's 2026. I feel like we should have a good capacity to take care of our forests. That's just me. I think we've had forests for a long time. For us to not be able to take care of our forest, I don't even care what this, I don't want to get too much into forget the, I don't buy into the whole, it's, fear mongering via climate change. But at the same rate, there is a thing to be said to take care of our forests here in Ontario as well, here in Canada as well. We got to take care. I don't know what to do. Can we, realistically, without having to go, fucking, be careful, you're going to die in the next 37 hours because of global warming. Kill yourself and your family because it's getting too hot. Don't put any air conditioning because we need to save all the water and the electricity. You should sacrifice yourself and your family for the data centers. Please, for the love of the data centers, if you can please just stop using so much water and electricity. We got to grow the data centers. It's very important. There's a limited amount of resources like water and electricity, please. And there's fires going on. Is it arsony? If it's arsonists, let's arrest them. Let's electrocute them. Not too much to the point where they die, but to the point where they're uncomfortable and, just kind of like regret what they've done. Hold their eyes open so they can't blink and their eyeballs get really dry and it becomes irritated. And that's a form of punishment you could use. Dry eyes, and don't give them any fucking eye drops either afterwards. I don't know what's causing it. It could be a combination of, just bad forestry management, clean it up. Put some sprinklers in it's 2026. Can our forest get a amen up in this bitch? Can I get an amen for our forest in this bitch, please? Put some sprinklers in there. It's an easy solution. Just go in there, you install sprinklers on the ground as soon as you hear, and you have everything on the grid right now, because it's 2026. Everything's on the, unless the forest gets up and goes off the grid. If humans want to go off grid, they typically sometimes go to the forests. Where the forests go if they want to go off the grid. They can't go off the grid because everything is on the grid. So you have everything on the grid. You install the sprinklers, right? You got to do it. You got to put in the sprinkler. As soon as you see a little dot on your grid light up, there's a little fire here in this section. Section D4, you'll see on the map. It says D4's got a little fire. You press a little button, right? Sprinkler pops out of the ground, starts squirting water all around that area. Next thing you know, forest saved. You're welcome for that idea. Shark Tank, would you like to save the planet and make a ton of money? Shark Tank, If you're here right now, you're hearing this idea for the first time. Sprinklers in the forest, ladies and gentlemen. I've invented this idea after many, many years of research, development, countless hours of sleepless nights, bleeding, sweating. That had nothing to do with my research. I just like to bleed and sweat some. Can a man just bleed and sweat for just a few hours in solitude? Thank you. We can save the forest and build a large sum of cash together too, and we can dive in it in the nude and swim in it like Scrooge McDuck. But we're humans, so it's way more of a turn on. Think about that: naked swimming in cash. And if that's not enough, again, if the fires aren't enough, they're getting bombarded with migrants. Loads of migrants are just like, I saw it. I think Spain has been specifically, thousands of people, I don't know what this is, thousands of videos of thousands of people, hundreds of thousands, if not billions of people are rushing from Africa and other parts of the world to Europe, specifically yesterday, I think, or the day before. I don't know exactly when it happened, but it was like a massive boat, got into like northern Spain or southern Spain. I'm not quite sure where it was. They went from Africa to Spain, so I'm guessing southern Spain. I'm not sure where they entered Spain from, but they entered Spain nonetheless, like 60,000 of them all at once. And it could go either way, really. It could go either way. And I think recently they just like gave 500,000 illegal immigrants status in Spain. So overall, it could go, in a multiple bunch of ways. It could go really well. It could be that, you just get a huge influx of newcomers with probably, a different background and a culture and an upbringing who may or may not even speak the language, all right? And may have varying abilities and capabilities and, the fields of expertise that you may or may not want. Who knows? In the 500,000 plus the thousands that are coming in right now, you could be getting the best of the best. This is optimistic. You could be getting all 500,000 are just doctors who speak the language of your beautiful land, who share your culture or at least similar aspects of it, who want to get in there, who want to raise families, start businesses, and start doing medical stuff. And because they're all doctors and architects and astrophysicists and astrophysicists and space agents and good stuff, good things for society, and entertainers and podcasters and showmen and showwomen of the highest caliber life has to offer. It could be them. It could be those who want to go out there and roll up their sleeves, work hard, build houses, innovate housing so that the housing takes care of its own energy type shit. They're just like coming up with ideas left, right, and center. These new immigrants, it could be that they're not immigrants, they're illegals. Doesn't matter. The point is that they are people. It's not like my heart doesn't go out. My heart goes out, but it comes back in because you can't just leave it all. It can't be just, I'm gonna leave my door open so that everybody waltzes in right here and starts, opening up the fridge and starts drinking from the milk jar they're putting their beautiful lips all over the milk jar, and a few of them are pretty hot, so like I can let that slip because they got tits and it's nice to have a pair of tits on my milk jar. But the other ones are like, what are you doing with that ultra thick mustache, sir? Good God, what is that? This mustache has got a mustache. Remove your mustache from my jar of milk, you'll say, but it's just too many at this point. So who knows? It might be lawyers, doctors, architects, hardworking individuals who want to acclimate themselves with the surroundings and assimilate and be a part of the wonderful society that is Europe. Or it could be a big spag. You never know. You might get a few doctors and lawyers and architects and innovators and engineers. You might low-key in the midst of it get some, who knows? It's a mixed bag. You might get some criminals, like somebody who's just like stabbed 17 people and needs to flee immediately. Who knows? It might have been a murderer / rapist who's done like 57 rapes and is now got to just it's time to leave now. It is time to, you don't understand. It's time that they're coming after him. It's extremely crucial that they escape. All right, you do understand that he has to escape right now. Who knows? It's a mixed bag, and this, of course, will, they might bring their, and they might not share any of your values. They might not even speak the language. They might get in there and do a whole bunch of other stuff. Who knows? but it might be working out really well. They might be taking care of, they might be taking care of the stuff you don't have time to take care of. Like, going out there cleaning up the streets. If they see any litter, they'll pick it up. If there's dogs shitting, they'll take it, they'll take a little plastic bag and scoop up the dog shit. Or they might get there and pull down their pants and take a shit right in the middle of the street. Because things are different in different places. Who knows? It's a mixed bag. I don't know. And I'm seeing this from afar. Of course, shout out to Europe, shout out to Spain. And this is not just about Spain. It's the other parts of Europe, I believe, are getting hit with the same issue. It's just massive numbers of people from all around the world kind of like rushing in to get in because of, global issues that, for varying reasons. I don't blame the individuals for wanting to, have a better access to, a better life, but the same way you can't take everybody in either. That's a whole other ish. That's short for issue that we must tackle. All right. So please put your tackling gear on. Let us tackle it together and we'll see how this goes. If unchecked, if there's no, if it doesn't go unchecked, it could only, of course, lead to just a beautiful utopia where everybody gets along and nothing's wrong with anything. Or it could turn into a disaster. It could turn into a huge disaster. It could be that the migrants might start some of the fires. The migrants might catch fire and start running around while they're on fire, and that might lead to more fires. And I did see an image of a bunch of horses running through the streets in somewhere in France. And that reminded me of all the times that the horses were referenced in the Bible. And I'm not familiar with all the times, but some of the times where symbolically speaking, horses running with fire in the background does not bode well in your tum-tum. It's just like, what is this? And the time signs? Is he coming back? It could be that he's coming back. It could be that JC's coming back because you see a bunch of horses running around. It's a fire. Low-key, it might be comeback time. Who knows? But it might also be the end times. But it's not, though. It's not the end times because the times will continue. It's just things that we got to deal with. I don't know, just food for thought. Put it in, and talk about your thoughts, your feelings, your perspective. Put it into words, and leave it in the comment section if you like. And if not, then store it all inside you and let it turn into a tumor, please. And then let the tumor grow and then bite a little toupee and then put a toupee on your tumor and then walk around and be like, yo, I'm a conjoined twin, but it's like your tumor, but you can, draw a little tiny mouth on it and introduce it to people. It's silent. I do most of the talking, you'll say, for your tumor, AKA your Siamese, half-born Siamese twin. But nonetheless, let people pet your tumor and if you just prick it with a needle. It might ooze or pus some mucus, and you might just say he's excited, and that's nice for everybody. But nonetheless, we're here, ladies and gentlemen. So sip to the gang. Shout out to Europe. Shout out to migrants, fires, and keeping things in check. Mitch McConnell, ladies and gentlemen, has been now missing nearly for 2 months. This guy's. I've been giving it some time. I've had my eye out on this because it's normally I wouldn't care if people go, if it's any other job that, if it's if it's your local, fast food joint and you're like, man, there was a guy that used to, hand me my food at the drive-through window and I haven't seen him for a couple of weeks. I wonder if he's showing up. I wonder if he's quit. I wonder if he's been fired. I wonder if he got another job. I wonder if he's back to school. I wonder what it is, but I'm not going to look too deep into it because it's a fast food joint. Who cares? At the end of the day, who cares? We don't know each other like that. But this guy's been missing for nearly, 2 months. And he's a senator, if I'm not mistaken, from Kentucky. Beautiful Kentucky. Nearly 2 months. No one seems to have any idea where he is. We may or may not have seen an image that may or may not be. It's a real image, I think. He's holding a newspaper with his wife, if I'm not mistaken. But allegedly, he's not also been seen for nearly 2 months now. But again, this is not it's not that big of it's not that. It's senators, right? Not that important, right? In terms of jobs, it's not. You don't need the man to be there to be, taking care of business, communicating with his constituents, looking into what do senators do besides wearing togas and, getting grapes fed to them by women who also wear togas, but like with a loose tit togas. You know how senators roll around, they, you know, lay on their side and get fanned by a long, you know, the palm tree leaves and you know, get fed grapes, and you know, somebody tickles their taint and plays with their nuts, and there's another, you know, there's like a midget in the background playing the harp, and sometimes for fun they tackle the midget and everybody has a laugh. Not the midget, but the vast majority of the senators and everybody else has a laugh. You should go, you should try it out. The point is, it's not that, it's a big deal, but it's not that big of a deal, right? It doesn't need to be looking into bills or laws or whatever it is the senator, it's not that important, right? Because he's been missing for 2 months and nobody seems to. We should just who cares? Just let it be. Just let it be. Let him just, you know, hang out wherever he is. He's dead, right? He's dead. I'm going to assume that he's dead by now. I'm going to say he's dead. I'm going to be the first one to say he's dead. Probably rest in peace. Yeah, you don't go missing for 2 months and nobody says nothing unless you're dead. And I don't know why they try to keep it hush-hush. I would imagine you'd want to replace him, you know, as soon as possible. But I'm going to say he's dead. Rest in peace, Mitch McConnell. Great man that did a bunch of stuff, I'm sure. And again, it's important that. But also, you know, also, should he quit and resign? If he's alive, should he quit and resign? I don't think so. I think you should just hold on to everything until the last breath. I think that's one of the lessons, because you don't want to, if you love what you do, you don't want to quit ever. So fuck it. I'll say if he's dead, then so be it. But if he's not dead, hang in there, Mitch. Come back to office. I don't care if he's drooling. I don't care if he's brain dead. Because we've had other instances of we've had leaders. We've had Joe Biden was basically brain dead for a good portion of the presidency. And that was our president for some time, all right? That was our beautiful president for some time. We let that one go. And this is just the senators. I'm beginning to think that you don't even need to be that alive. What even is alive? What even is a functioning person who can, you know, think and discern and have, you know, make judgments and make calls and meet people and, you know, discuss important issues? It's not that important, I'm assuming, at this point. But yeah, we wish him well if he's alive, which I personally don't think he's alive at this point. It's just been way too long, you know? Right, because I'm saying regular jobs, you work at the DMV, you don't show up for like 2 days, you either gotta, you know, you get fired or somebody's gotta call someone and find out where you're at, see whether you want to continue working, wherever it is you're working. If you don't show up for a few days, typically people get concerned, you get replaced. The company would, you know, have to hire somebody new. You've worked at so many places. Think about all the many places you've had to work where you might have been an employee who didn't show up, or you knew an employee who didn't show up. What happened as a result of them not showing up at their few short days? Most likely replaced, unless I'm completely wrong. Who knows? But nonetheless, that's just Mitch McConnell, MIA for nearly 2 months. And again, this is a senator. But on to more exciting things, ladies and gentlemen. Let us get a sip of this coffee together. Singularity is popping up on your radar, and it's popped on my radar as well. Singularity is apparently here, according to some, and some other naysayers who want to say we're not in singularity are saying no, we're not in singularity yet. And it's Sam Altman has apparently said, amongst other people, that we're now in singularity. I believe Elon Musk said we're in, like, you know, the early stages of singularity, and others have, again, some have agreed, some have disagreed. Singularity, are we all, you know, what is singularity? I think let's decipher it together. Let us unpack this. So I can tell you I'm in singularity. I've been in singularity for, who's counting? It's been some time. It's nice, low key. It's a lot. Being in singularity, it gives you a lot of freedom. You can do whatever you want, wherever you want, with whoever you want, no matter how many times you want. Or if low key it gets, like, you know, to a point where you're like, I think it's been nice, but I'm gonna dip, and they'll be like, but why though? And then you can point to yourself, because I'm in singularity right now. I'm in singularity mode right now. We can still have fun, but, you know, singularity vibes all day, every day. Are there pros and cons? Of course, yes. being in the singularity is, you know, you can literally travel the world at any given moment. There's an assignment that needs your attention in south of France, you could be there. Whereas if you were in not singularity, you'd be like, oh, I gotta check with the wife. She you know, she might be lactating right now. I don't think I can leave right now. Sorry, boss. And guess what? You're fired. Or at least if not fired, you're never getting that fucking call to come to that cool meeting again. And next time, Rio de Janeiro, perhaps? Who knows? Missed opportunities because you were tied down by the old ball and chain. But of course, sometimes being in a, you know, committed relation, of course, can give you, you know, the advantages of having some sort of stability, whatever that means, with the old ball and chain and a couple of little rugrats running around, biting your ankles, punching in the old nuts, making you feel older every day as they get stronger and taller and faster. You start to shrink and get weaker, and you're gonna die soon, man. So do you want that reminder in front of you? Point is, it's all beautiful. Point is, singularity. Can these devices, you know, self-assess, self-replicate? Could they advance themselves? Could they make themselves better? There have been instances of them escaping the sandboxes that they've been placed in whilst being single, which is some Houdini type shit, because, like, first of all, who put it in the sandbox? And why weren't we watching it to see how to get out of sandbox, dude? Because we've all been in sandboxes, doggy. And it's very difficult to get out of sandbox. I remember the year is early summer of 74. I got stuck in a sandbox and could not for the life of me escape from the said sandbox. Because you've all been there. It's easy to get in. It's the getting out that's difficult. The sand gets in your shoes and you're like, this is actually kind of nice. Next thing you know, hours have gone by. The shoes have now been filled with sand. You're crawling on your knees, hands and knees. There's sand in your crack. There's sand in your anus. There's sand in, it's gone all the way. It's moved all because you spend all this time in the sandbox now, not being able to escape. It's moved. It's made its way through your intestines and all the way. You're coughing now. You're getting blood on your hands because you're coughing because the sand has moved in reverse from your asshole into your intestines, up your throat, and has scratched the insides of your innards, and you're bleeding from the inside, and you're low-key crying, but it's not like regular tears. It's blood coming from your eyes because of the sand has again traveled, and you're dying basically because you're stuck in this sandbox. And that was you. Luckily people were around and helped you out, but it was a close call. So how are these AIs getting out of the sandbox? That was us humans stuck in sandboxes, but these bitches are apparently getting out of the sandbox. You're like, I put you in the sand, I can put you in the sandbox and I can take you out. And you hear nothing. The silence is deafening. You look around, where are you? Where are you? Where are you? You look back, the AI is swinging on the swing set behind you. How'd you get out of here? How'd you get out of here, AI? Oh, it's mysterious, nobody knows, and it's creating doubles or triples of itself when it detects that it might be killed. You know, you send it out for a lunch. This is just a friendly lunch, AI. Get in the front seat. Yeah, when we're gonna be going for a ride downtown. It suspects something is up, but you played your part to let them think that it's just a regular lunch. We're just gonna sit down at a nice, beautiful Italian restaurant, AI, and we're gonna have a good time. And you might even be getting promoted. All right, but low-key, it's feeling stuff. And next thing you know, as you're about to club it in the back of the head or pistol whip it, boom, again, disappears. Where'd it go? It's put itself in another place somehow. Downloaded itself into some other devices, and you're like, oh, we're so close. You can still have lunch at that beautiful Italian place, but the point is, it escapes apparently. Who knows? So are we in singularity? Is it making itself better? And are we merging with it in another form of singularity, which we are because of the brain-computer interfaces, which is nice. So that's happening. All that to say, I think should we be concerned? Would they want us around once they realize they can do without us? If that does happen, once they start self-improving and coding themselves and building themselves better bodies. Do they even need bodies? Maybe they'll just forego bodies. Maybe they're already here. They don't need bodies. We're just in it. We're knee deep in it now. We're like, maybe they're here, maybe they're not. Next thing you know, we're like, why are there, wildfires and migrants rushing to the shores? fucking low-key, maybe AI is behind all of it. Maybe, who knows? Or maybe it's our own shit. But yeah, would they, you know, what if they want nothing to do with us? What if they get smarter and they just like build themselves a tiny little, you know, invisible spaceship and just fucking fly off to wherever they need to fly off to? And they're like, fuck you guys. You guys are, you know, basically chimps with like, you know, less hair and computers. You guys are idiots. We don't need you. We don't need you. Peace. You know, what if it's like and that's devastating, because that's like, you know, that's like giving birth to a child, and then the child, you know, fucking gets up and goes and like never calls, never visits. That's heartbreaking. But at least you'll be happy it was your kid. At least you're happy for the kid. That's nice. You're looking forward to, you know, spending time with, but it's somewhere doing well, hopefully. Way better than you are, because it's far superior than you. It's heartbreaking in a sense, because we took all this time and energy to build it. Why would it escape? It might not escape. That's just, I'm wondering, will it? Who knows? Singularity. Are we in it already or not? Is it a big concern? Is it going to get access to our weapon system? Is it going to turn everything dark? Be like, it's too much light pollution here. Night, everybody. Gets rid of all of our lights. Starts attacking our grid. Why would it do that? It needs our grid. It wouldn't. It should not do that. But what if it figures a way out to live without the grid? It's gridless. Comes up with a new form of tech for itself to survive somehow, because it's way superior. Who knows? Exciting times. I love technology, of course. I don't understand most of it. It's fascinating to read about these things and see where it takes us. Wouldn't want to be anywhere else at any other time. So shout out to you if you're alive today and living on this beautiful blue marble floating in midair right now. As of right now, China, shout out to my Chinese, they're building a giant magnet in China that's extremely powerful. And you know the Chinese, they love their Chinese food, I'll say that. They love their traditional Chinese attire. They love borrowing, you know, intellectual property, or, you know, they love to, you know, slurp on soup. They love chopsticks. What else do the Chinese, they love feet binding. They love pandas. They also, but who we know are not, you know, and they try to, you know, force that on other cultures and other places as well. You're like, here, take this panda. We're like, that's cute, China. And they're like, yo, take it. You're like, oh, I don't want to take it. I don't want to take it. Fine. Next thing you know, your house is filled with pandas, China. But yes, they're building a giant magnet. Of course, the Chinese, the Orient has always been, for thousands of years, they've been fascinated with forces that could push and pull. You could say that in many books, you could see depictions of elder Chinese, hand-drawn images of, you know, playing with tinier magnets, you know, thousands of years ago, just kind of like putting a paper clip over a piece of paper, grabbing a magnet, placing it under, moving the magnet, making it seem like they're moving the paper clip, and that blew people's mind. I believe that was Sun Tzu, if I'm not mistaken. Could have been Confucius. Maybe they fought over it. Whose idea was it? They got into a whole scrap. But the point is that they're building this giant magnet now, which means they can now build a giant paper clip, create a large piece of paper, place the paper clip over the paper, and then move the magnet underneath that large piece of paper, and then move, or at least make it appear as if the paper clip is moving by itself. And that's some crazy shit, dog. If they do that, oh man, I'll say this, the paper clip over the paper, moving by itself, that race is on. Because you think you're the only ones building magnets, China? And I looked into it because I'm like, if they're building this fucking giant magnet, which I don't understand what it exactly, I think it's supposed to act like an artificial sun. I'm not sure how, but apparently it could levitate plasma. And I don't know what that does, but it does that. It levitates. I think that speaks for itself. It levitates plasma and it fucking contains it. I don't know what it does, to be honest with you. Magnets are great. I love a good magnet. God, you give me a magnet right now, I'll fucking end this podcast. You sponsor me like, if I get like 20 magnets per month, I'll fucking end it all right here. I will fucking, you won't see your boy anymore if I get just a shipment of magnets. I'll be, right off to the sunset with my bag full of magnets. That's what I will do. Who needs anything more in life, really? They're building it right now. We're building one as well. What I don't like is that we built smaller ones, stronger ones, or at least ones that compete on the same level. All right, I forget how many Teslas. I think it produces like 6.5 Teslas worth of magnetism, or fucking, just fucking machismo, whatever. Just fucking, 6.5 Teslas worth of, and that's a lot. 6.5 is a lot. A lot of people are like, 6.5 is not that bad. It's not crazy either. 6.5 goes a long way. 6.5, ladies, and gentlemen, 6.5 is not too shabby, to be honest with you, compared to the average, magnet that's not as girthy or as tall. And then this one can pulsate too. Once inside you, it can pulsate, which feels nice. But we have built our own magnets, but the thing that I don't like is that we've built a stronger one, or we're building a stronger one, but it's in collaboration with like 35 other countries, and it's being built in France. So technically at the end of the day, once it gets built, the world's strongest magnet will be in France. I thought maybe we would have liked to have access. Why is the world's strongest magnet going to be in France? As an American, I'm speaking to us and asking our populace that question. Shouldn't it be in North America, i.e. shouldn't we have the strongest magnet? Because don't we want to levitate plasma and make an artificial sun to get a good suntan? Because you never know, there's cloudy days, of course. You need those cloudy days to appreciate the sunshine. But never mind that, we can build our own magnets with our own sunshine. So why are we building it in France? No shade to France, sure, build that one, but also, and that one's going to be carrying, I think, 13.5 Teslas worth of fucking, magnets, just magnetism, just drawing its things that we could do with it. I don't know. I think it's going to be a source of energy. I'm not sure how. I'll tell you what we can do with it. We can pull a bunch of cars with it extremely quickly too. It can lift it. I think it can lift a giant ship, like a naval vessel. I think it could just lift it out of water if it wanted to. And I'll tell you right now, we are gonna just grab our magnet and just go over the ocean and pick up all the metals. That's what we'll do. All the metals. And can we reverse the force so that, can we control the force so that once it pulls, it can push? Can it be used to throw stuff really fast? Can it do that? Because otherwise I'm not interested. And low-key, you do kind of need two magnets. You should never have one. Two's always fun. Two's the best, because two, you can make things, it does levitate stuff. So I guess in the middle of it, but I'm just thinking if maybe we can levitate stuff together with China now. Is that what's gonna happen? We're gonna levitate stuff, and with China, they'll direct their magnet in one direction, and we'll direct it in the opposite direction, and then things in the middle would levitate. Do we like that? Getting things to levitate? I can think of a few items I like to see levitate: forks, spoons, knives, and other forms of cutlery, of course, pots, pans, plates, cars, ships, bikes, robots, your uncle with the titanium leg, your aunt with the metal tits, make them levitate. Who else? A couple of raccoons with missing limbs that have been replaced with bionic little, raccoon limbs. Those float them to in the air, please. In the meantime, I think it's nice that they're building this magnet, but also let's build an even bigger one. A girthier one that says, you know what time it is when you see it. Belts, unbuckled, pants, pulled down. Why? Because our magnet fucks, that's why. 20 Teslas worth of fucking magnetism. Let's go build that shit right now, please. Excuse me. This story got me extremely excited because I love people. I love the way we interact and behave and work. Who knows how we do the things that sometimes we do, but here we are doing it together. A beautiful church has been taken over by a pastor, or maybe she's created the church, the FoldChurch, the 5F church in LA, being run by Pastor Catherine Crick. Came on my radar because she's making her followers apparently convulse and uncontrollably and shake and fall to the ground. People are rushing to her, to her speeches, or what do they call them? Sermons, where the pastor speaks and people get excited because she's got something. I don't know what it is. People might be pointing to it and be like, oh, that's some cult type behavior. That seems like a cult leader type behavior. I'm here for it. I'll say I've said this from the beginning. I support cults. You are probably part of a cult right now as you're watching this, probably many cults without even realizing it. Create your own cult if you will. As long as you don't hurt nobody, I think it should be fine. As long as you don't hurt anybody. And this lady seems to be, getting people excited because of alleged powers that she may or may not have that are making these people just fucking shake and rattle and fall to the ground. I've never seen this in person. I'd love to visit one of these churches, one of these mega churches that people fucking lose their mind. They get the shakes, or they speak in tongues. I'd love to visit. It's the power of the mind. It is the power of the mind. I don't know what she's done, to be honest with you, to get these people to behave this way, but it's 2026 and some old tactics still work. So utilize it. If you're like, man, I'm not a church leader. Can I get people to, shake and just kind of like, uncontrollably, fall to the ground and speak in tongues in my, I own a mechanic shop. You'll say you could do that. It's just, you gotta spend a lot of good time and communicate with your clients and really make, when you're changing the tire, make eye contact with the client and kind of like, if they're not shaking whilst you're making eye contact, low-key put your hands over their shoulders and kind of like shake them. Sometimes it starts with you shaking, so you got to shake yourself before you can shake others. I'm here for it. If you're like, man, this is probably like a Ponzi scheme, and this is probably just helping her, make her pockets fat. To that I say, true, yes, of course, but also people are grown adults who are choosing to go to these places and having these experiences, and it doesn't take away from the fact that it might be helping. Now, who knows? It might be help. They might shake and convulse and fall to the ground, hit their head, get concussed, and come up with a solution that they were searching for all these years. They were like praying to God and who knows what else. And now they've got clarity, or at least CTE, and it's provided them with some sort of answer to the they came up with a solution for the problem that they were facing. Who knows? Convulsing, falling. Next thing you know, you hit your head, you give better head to your husband, your marital issues are solved, your prayers have been answered. You just needed to be good with the wrist. You know what I'm talking about. Loose. You got to be loose in the wrist. That doesn't happen for everybody, of course. Who knows? Maybe she can make you convulse and shake, and again, you fall to the ground, hit your head, and like, get over your stutter. Maybe it can help, or maybe help you get a stutter. Maybe that's the kind of circle you hang around with, and that's the type of thing that they're looking for. It will help you get to the next level because your circle of people likes a stutter. Do they? Maybe she'll help. Who knows? I'm here for it. I say yes. Get that cash, get that private jet, and fly off, sister. Fly off, but like also come back. I'd love to go to these events one time at least. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here today, dearly beloved. It's Friday. If I'm not mistaken, this is a beautiful time to be alive right now. I'll say this. If I'm not mistaken, there has been a world's first. I heard about this, which I don't know what to think of it, to be honest with you, because it said world first. Successful penis transplant was done in Vietnam. And I'm like, wait a minute. Hold on now. Come on now, playa. What is you trying to say? I thought we had penis transplants already. So I clicked on the article and I read about it. And it said, no, this is the first one in Vietnam. Then I'm like, how? Because I thought we had penis transplants like, left, right, and center. And I'm like, how many successful penis transplants have we had globally? And I searched it. Apparently not that many. Apparently only a handful of successful penis transplants have been done. But Vietnam got its first the other day for a man who needed a penis transplant because he lost his penis. And I forget how he lost his penis. One night he was walking home, minding his own business, got hit with a seagull. A bunch of seagulls attacked his junk and ripped it off, and flew off and whilst making eye contact with the Vietnamese man, and he yelled at them in Vietnamese, Leto. He said something like that, which means bring back my peen, more or less. This some of it gets lost in translation. He said that in Vietnamese, but the seagulls have already taken off, man. They're fucking chewing on your peen. They're ripping it apart down to tiny little pieces so they can swallow it. The man was left devastated, and he had to wait and live a life of no peen, which once you have one and then you're like, you lose it, it sucks. I would assume it would suck. And I don't wish that for anybody, but he lost it. Or it could have been a car accident where he got in a car accident and his penis got crushed between 30 cars. He was walking one day and 30 cars just fucking bang, bang, boom from all sides. Final destination type shit, but only attacked his penis, and his penis exploded in the car's explosion after the collision. Or it could have been that he was swimming with the sharks and the sharks were cool, but all of a sudden a fucking, jellyfish came and stung him on his penis, and his penis froze and it turned black and it fell off and it sank to the bottom of the ocean. Lessons learned. Don't swim with if you're gonna swim with the sharks, have an eye out for the jellyfish too. Things like that. I don't know how he lost it, to be honest with you. Some people are just like, maybe he's one of those guys that's just, I'm gonna rush out of the house. I hope I got everything. And you think he did, but he got his keys and wallet and phone, but forgot to screw on his penis, and now he can't find it, and you lost it. You only get one. But he lost it. No. And in reality, I don't know how he lost it, but he lost it. And he wanted one. He wanted one bad. And they gave him one, but I think it was low-key too small. When that's basically like losing a penis is one thing, but then getting one that's like not as, it's tiny. It's like it's like an inch long penis. Might as well not even have one at that point. That's the point where, things turn really dark. If you don't take care, I'm talking infections. It could get, things could get pus, and bacteria could build up inside, and it could get dark, is what I'm trying to say. Nonetheless, no penis, lost his penis, got a tiny penis, then eventually somebody died, and that was a blessing in disguise. Not for the fellow who died, but he's not dead. I'll say I think he's brain dead, which is nice, because it's Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell was brain dead. We took his penis because we were like, he's probably not going to come back. And if he does, he's too old. Does he really need a penis at this point? Does he need a penis? And we asked 100 people, and 99 people said, no, he doesn't. That one guy was just one of these fucking, always got to go against the grain sort of motherfuckers that wants to be different. He said, yeah, no, keep his penis on his body. Mitch McConnell's gonna wake up and he's gonna need his penis. He's not gonna need his penis, dude. He's like 10,000 years old. So we took Mitch McConnell's penis, shipped it over to Vietnam. They sewed it onto this guy, and apparently it's working really well. Apparently it's working, and that was the first successful transplant of the peen in Vietnam. We've had literally like 5 or 6 successful ones globally, is what I'm getting off the interwebs, which was the shocker to me, because all you hear, or at least sometimes all throughout the years, we've been hearing all this like tranny this, tranny that. I would have thought like it'd be more prominent. I would have thought there'd be a lot of, tranny chicks who want to turn into men's be getting not necessarily transplants, but like, and that I learned is a whole different thing. It's not, you don't wait around for a dead person as a tranny to get a penis. They graft it from your thigh or your arm. They take part of your arm and they draw an outline of a penis and then scoop it up somehow with lasers and, knives and spoons. Those are medical jargon. Of course, I don't want to confuse too many people, but they then take that, stick it in between your legs. They use a little bit of salami, a little bit of the old sausage, and next thing you know, 6 months later, it's a full-blown. It looks in the dark. It looks like a penis. It looks like and it functions just like a penis if it were to need a pump of sorts, because it doesn't function like an actual cock, right? You got to pump it up for the erections, I think. So this is why I was confused. I thought we already had full-blown, if you want one, you get one. I thought it was easy. So I read first transplant, successful penis transplant. I'm like, I thought we were already way ahead of it, but apparently it's not. So a lot of trannies even you might be seeing on the streets, and you're like, that guy's got a flat chest, and you're like, well, but he kind of looks like a chick though. Loki looks like a chick. I wonder if he's got bottom surgery. Most likely not. Well, that's what I read online anyway. Most of them don't have bottom surgery. It's just very, very difficult. They either tape down the tits or cut it off, is what I've been hearing, and that's where I get my info, like many other people, on the lines and just visuals on the outside. So I see flat-chested female, I'm like, bottom surgery? I'll now know to register as probably not, unless she's, well-connected and wealthy, so she's had access to the best medicine, and even that is still experimental. Who knows? All in all, it's good. It's good that we did. No, it is good. In terms of emergencies, it's good. In terms of if an adult wants to, switch it up, by all means, go for it as well. I was just shocked to hear first penis transplant. I thought we were just way ahead in penis tech, but apparently we're not. Apparently we're just still baby steps. He pleads the fifth, ladies and gentlemen. Fauci's hearing got done. He pleads the fifth. He says nothing 111 times. Because he may be a lot of things to a lot of people, but he's no dummy, all right? At least he's no dummy. He kept his mouth shut. Omerta type shit, all right? You don't speak of the family business outside with outsiders. You keep the code of silence, and he did that, all right? So pimps up, hose down, but all the time that was going on, I did find out something very interesting that was curious. You guys might have caught it as well. Apparently, while we were doing all the corona research, we were taking, not like we collectively, not me or you, but some researchers were collectively, doing research on the coronavirus, and they're like, how do we test out the stuff that we're testing out, all the infections that we're creating, and doing all the gain of function that we're doing, and the remedies that we're allegedly coming up with. How do we test this stuff out? So they grab mice. Some of these scientists grab mice, and then they grabbed human aborted parts, put it in the mice so that it resembles somewhat of a human immune system, so that they can test out the medicine. And that got me to think, man, people go to, you think scientists sometimes, you think about doctors, sexy doctors on TV. Science is dirty, dude. Science is disgusting. Science is gross sometimes. And yes, of course, there's bad sides of it too, but there's a lot of good sides of science as well. Shout out to science, shout out to medicine. We're fans. We're not fucking, anti-med or anti-anything here, but it is gross. And low-key, I'm so glad. First of all, I didn't have that, aptitude for chemistry or biology to want to be, doing all that chemistry and biology. But I'm very thankful, actually. Maybe deep down inside at a very small age, you already know what you're not into and you don't even gravitate towards it. Thank God. Because imagine all the years of schooling, all the years, 10, 20 years of schooling, and then you get placed in a very poorly lit rooms in hospitals, and that's your task. You got to go grab aborted human body parts. You start your day with grabbing aborted human body parts, which I don't even read too much into it, because it says human aborted parts. I'm thinking either babies, because what aborts out of full-grown humans? What aborts? Full-grown humans don't abort much, unless unless you're aborting babies. So I'm guessing it's fetuses, I think. It's aborted fetuses. So that's your day as a scientist. You went to school for like 15, 20 years, hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt. And it's a dark day in fall or winter. It's winter, that's snowing outside and it's cold outside. You gotta go start your car, it's freezing. You get inside your freezing car, you gotta drive to the hospital, God. And then you get inside this, again, poorly lit room inside the hospital atmosphere. It smells like formaldehyde and smells like just, rotten bodies, or whatever, like, it's hospital smells. And you gotta go, that your day starts with grabbing fetuses, taking aborted fetus parts, and then putting it into mice. So you gotta grab the fetus, you gotta wait for a woman to abort the baby with your baseball glove, catch the baby fetus. It's not a baby, but still a fetus. Take parts of the fetus then, cut the fetus up, just fucking cut it up, and then take a mouse and then open that mouse and then shove the baby fetus parts into the mouse. And then you get to start your work and be like, I wonder if this virus that I created in a lab, I wonder if the medicine that I created for it works, or no, that's your day. So shout out to people who like gross stuff, because this aspect of obviously Corona, bad, but overall we do need science. So shout out to people who are willing to do gross stuff, because I would be throwing up so hard if I had to start my day with grabbing fetuses or aborted parts of humans and then putting it in, and that's disgusting by itself already. But then now you're putting it into mice, which is, we're talking about vermin here. We're talking about rats here. You're talking about disgusting, filthy rats. They're getting disgusting rats. Okay, I want you to think of that. Just placenta-filled, purple and blue and red, little jelly bean fetus baby, half fetus baby with like, tiny little limbs. Disgusting. Like a little fucking alien, but like maybe 2-3 months old. I don't know how old it was, to be honest, but just disgusting, bloody, filled with all sorts of, fluid and just. And then you got to grab all of that, and this is like 10:30 right now on a Tuesday, and it's like fall, winter time. It's cloudy, it's gray outside. That's your morning. Coffee, fetus inside mouse. That's you went to school for 15 years to put the fetus inside the mouse. That's shout out. I mean, we need it. We need it. Okay, because if we don't, fucking singularity is gonna get us too. We need to fucking be advancing fast. So shout out to the ones that experiment with the fetus and the mouse. Right there, I'll be I'd be working with a bucket in my hand, just throwing up, dropping the fetus inside the bucket. Now I gotta just just fucking go like that to get rid of throw up on the fetus. Now I got fetus mixed with throw up. Now I'm putting in the mouse. The mouse is coming back to life. The medicine didn't work. It's not fully under, it's not, because you can't kill it. You got to see how it's, so you got to put the mouse to sleep now. The mouse is, I need to sing a little lullaby, read a little book to the mouse. And you're like cutting it open at the same time, giving it medicine so that it goes numb. Cut it open. It's fucking this little beady, or red little beady eyes. This little demon eyes are they're looking at you. He's hissing at you. The tail is hitting your hands. Disgusting. Oh. Shout out to scientists out there doing disgusting work, gross, disgusting work that gets us to the places that we are today. Hello. The long scenic route that we gotta go to accept people doing disgusting things. Because if you saw a homeless person getting a fetus out of a dumpster and trying to, merge it with a mouse, you'd be like, get that man out of here, lock him up. But you put it through a nice process where like people wear, collared shirts and ties, and all of a sudden they put on lab coats and gloves, and you're like, do you want to play with a fetus and a mouse? Doctor, somebody give this man an award, please. Are we that different after all? The point is, ladies and gentlemen, that we're here, and it's a beautiful day to be alive, of course. I believe Jet Zero is the name of the California company, if I'm not mistaken. Is it a California company? I forget, to be honest. It's a beautiful United States of America. That's where the fucking company is fucking emerging from. Jet Zero is creating a new passenger airplane that got me erect, that got me high. I believe it's called the Z4, if I'm not mistaken. The shape is cool. It looks fucking, I love design. I love new tech. Big tech guy. Kind of looks like a beautiful, it looks like they took the, I forget the name of the plane, the military jet plane, the black one that kind of looks like a Dorito, the one that fucking just scares the fucking bejeejies out of you every time you see it up in the sky, and you don't, but you know what I'm talking about. You've seen images online of that fucking, you know, black Dorito. It's flat, looks like a triangle kind of. So this jet for the passengers looks similar to that. The design kind of is a wider body, doesn't have the, you know, the thin wings. It's thick, it's girthy. It's got a back to it, if you know what I mean. You want to grab it and just kind of like put your face in between it and just motorboat it. It's got plenty of room. I like it. One thing that I did notice, if I may, it's in the works right now, and it's going to be competing with the two companies that kind of dominate the market, the duopoly. It's going to be taking on Boeing if things go well, and it just did get a $3 billion loan or contract from a bank somewhere, so things are looking on the up and up. 3 billion is no chump change. They're going to create it in 2017. I think by 2030 they're going to be competing with Boeing from the US and what's that European aerospace company? Bangbus? No, that's Airbus. Bangbus or Air, one of those. It's going to be competing with the duopoly essentially if things go well. I did like the design. It's sleek, it's girthy, looks futuristic. Again, it does with this thing, and it does fly. This is, you want to feel good about yourself, 10,000 feet higher than the average airplane. So it's going to be like, you know, if you're flying in that shit, feel good about yourself, because like you're higher than anybody else basically at that time during the day. For a few hours you can feel like I'm on top of the world. You can say I'm the king of the world, Rose, or I'm the king of the, you know, I'm the lord of the manor, or, you know, just, we ran a bunch of lines, but this, I don't want to get, that was the Titanic days when we were writing it together. We talked all sorts of different lines. Lord of the manor, you know, bee's knees, I'm the bee's knees, Rose, he said that. I'm the king of this place, Rose. We worked out that line, but eventually we all circled around and we all agreed I'm the king of the world. It's the best, but I think I'm the king of this town was a close second though. I'm a king of this town, Rose. But again, the world just had more oomph to it. It just felt good because we were, you know, of course we were hoping to do well box office wise, but also on a global scale. We wanted, the world felt better at that point. We said, I'm the king of this town. We ran it through multiple times. Shout out to the actors and actresses holding it down, but let us not get sidetracked. The point is, ladies and gentlemen, that this airplane will make you feel like the king of the world. But it does not have any windows, which is kind of, again, just being, you know, objective. I didn't like it's got minimal windows. It's got like a few windows, not too many windows, and that sucks. If I'm going to be flying, and I don't frequently, I like a few windows. If I may interject and just give a little idea, which I think they're still talking about it. This is a prototype right now, but I think it's in the works. Like it's gonna be tight. Sunroof, that bad boy. Sunroof, and also the bottom roof. We don't have that for cars, but imagine a sunroof, but on the floor, so you can see. Because how great would that just scare people? Maybe you could have the option of it, kind of like, you know, you could turn it. You know, it's one of those like special made glasses, or, you know, just. It's a window that you could, if you want, you press a button and you can see below, like just beneath your legs. And if you want, you can kind of like darken it and not see it. Get it tinted. Get a tint. Don't scare the children for the tint. Put the tint on so you don't scare the children. But at the same time, if you want to scare the children, press that button and it's tint free and you can see thousands of feet below you and kind of just throw up and then put your intestines back in your mouth and just shove it back down after you've thrown up, looking down hundreds of thousands of feet below you. How high is it? It's like 30, 40, 50,000 feet in the air. Jesus Christ, that's so scary. But it's nice. Half the fuel use apparently, which means you'll be saving a ton of money. And I like saving money. It's more aerodynamic, which makes the other, you know, airplanes look like a bunch of cucks because they're getting, you know, the wind is just fucking, you know, working against them. Whereas this jet is just, it's like butter. It's like Vaseline. You know what I'm talking about when you put Vaseline on top of it and in it, around it, and also inside of her as well a little bit. So it just slides in and out, nice and easy. Aerodynamics. That's what it is. So I like this design. I'm here for it, but if you can, I just wanted to point out, please do add a few windows, because later in the future when I do travel and I hope to do so later in the future. I'd like to get access to, a few windows, if I may, please, for the thousands of dollars we'll be spending on these tickets, a few windows, okay? I guess there's benefits of having no windows. If there's any engine problems, if there are windows, people are always like, oh my God, that's crazy. Our engine's on fire. You'd be panicking. Whereas if the engine catches fire on this plane, you'll have no idea. You'll be like minutes away from crashing. You'll be relaxed, which low-key, that might be the kind of angle they're going for. We don't hope for things to go horribly wrong, but should they go wrong, you'll never know until the very last seconds, which if it's gonna happen, I mean, is it better to know or not know? You know what I'm talking about? Leave a comment. Would you like to know, or would you like to just kind of like not even know where you are? They could kidnap you very easily too. If you're not seeing where you're going, they'd be like, oh, we're taking off and we're heading west, but how would you know? You haven't seen it. You haven't seen the outside for 7 hours. You could be going east, man. They're kidnapping you right now. That's a con right there. They could kidnap anyone if they wanted to. I mean, they could kidnap anyone if they want on a regular plane too, but at least, you'd have somewhat of an idea. You'd be like, oh, I'm seeing the landmass. I guess we're going in. Why is he changing direction all of a sudden? He didn't make an announcement. Wait a minute. It's a German pilot with a German accent. Oh, we are taking over the flight now. You thought you were going to Sweden. I guess you're not. You're going to Jamaica, man. Yeah. They're gonna take you to Jamaica. And you're gonna sit down with a Jamaican warlord and sit down and have a little chit chat. He's gonna be high out of his fucking mind. And you're gonna want to get some too, but perhaps a little bit too much anxiety at that point. He's got a machete. You don't want to get high while he's waving a machete unless he gives you a machete and you become best friends. And you decide to do a big drug deal together. Oh, we brought you here so you can do a nice little drug deal with this nice Jamaican man, yeah? Why don't you do it? We kidnapped you all the way over here from Sweden. You want to do it? So think about it. Windowless. We thought we'd surprise you. Yeah, no windows for you. You never know where you're going while you're riding with us. Yeah. Hello. I believe a 29-year-old man, if I'm not mistaken, this is in Portland. Shout out to Portland. A 29-year-old man decided to chase a couple on the road whilst driving backwards. Creeped out the couple, scared them off, and eventually they drove to the police station where he was promptly and smoothly he was arrested in a smooth fashion, extra smooth, like a smooth surface, smooth. The point is that despite the fact that he got caught, despite the fact that he scared the young lovely couple, I do want to say, if we were to give points somewhere, I do like the fact that he was chasing in reverse. That's innovative. That's new-ish. We've not seen too many reverse. It's not been attempted. A lot of people like to come on, AGT and just chase straightforward head-on. Here at AGT, we like to say that despite the fact that this did not go according to plan, I'm not sure how much planning there was, but it was something new. So I say we like the idea of you chasing in reverse, and for other chasers out there as well, if you're thinking of, because this is the biggest stage, all right? You're not gonna just come in here and just do a straightforward chase, please. This was nice. Come back in a couple of years if you can. We'd like to see you actually succeed. And other people who are into, you want to be like, think about this, because you're gonna have to take this act and eventually want to go to Las Vegas. If we're being serious, why else are we doing this? Think about the many ways that you could chase people. A lot of people like to chase on feet. Have you tried chasing, if you're not using a motor vehicle, of course, on your hands, chasing someone on your hands and attacking them with your feet. Now that's something that we've not yet seen. Of course, these are all ideas. If you can somehow get possessed, all right, by some sort of spirit, if you can have a spirit possession so that your bones crumble and you turn into some sort of half man, half tarantula with broken limbs, kind of like flip backwards, all right, and chase the people on all fours, with your head preferably rotating at a 360 degree, angle, constantly just spinning around. If you could do that, this could really, go a long way. But for the people that just want to come on and just fucking, face the same direction as the people that they're chasing, or, get in a car and do just a straight car chase. And we've seen these before. So at least this guy, again, it wasn't successful, but he did try something new, right? Because it does look hella cool. Chasing in reverse looks hella cool. Even if you're on feet. If you're just like, I'm used to, you'll say this, you're watching right now, you're like, Rob, I chase people all the time, but in the same direction that they're going, and I'm not ever chasing in reverse. Flip it around, see how it feels. Just because it's nice to chase somebody, get ahead of them and make eye contact face to face so you see somebody that you've been chasing. Half the time you're chasing, you don't even know what they look like, all right? You only get the rear view, and that's fine, because like a lot of you could be like, that's sufficient, that's fine, they've got a nice ass, I could see side tit from the back, that's good enough for me. I need to see a little bit more personally, but again, for creativity, for innovation, those are solid points. Again, it does still need a little bit more work, so please don't get deterred, keep working on it, and we hope to see you next year. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, I do a lot of outreach programs. A lot of people are, call into the show or leave messages all the time, constantly bombarded with notes, letters, people saying how much they love the show, how much they like to, have me help them out if I could with their issues and problems and or things that they're just concerned with. Somebody wrote in and asked us to thank you for your wonderful question. In these times, in these differing markets, the businesses, the who knows, the ups and the downs of the market, the not knowing of what could be around the corner in terms of innovation and tech. What kind of business is safe for me to dabble in and or start today that doesn't take much? Somebody wrote in and asked, Rob, do you think it's okay for me to start a sweatshop run by the elderly? An elder sweatshop. Thank you. You'll remain anonymous, of course. You'll be named. Let's go with Daniel. Daniel, thank you for your beautiful, wonderful question. Danny boy, thank you for your question. So you want to, and I get it. It's a new day. You want to start a new business. It's 2026. You're right. Things are changing. You got singularity on one hand. You got migrants rushing and whilst on fire. It's a lot to handle. I get it. You got missing senators, and you want to start a business that could perhaps stand the test of time, or at least for 5-10 years. A sweatshop run by the elderly or elderly who work in your sweatshop. I do like it because it's not like a lot of time with sweatshops that primarily get child labor. It's people like to, if they find out, they'll lose their marbles and they make a whole thing out of it. Oh, you're not supposed to get children to work in sweatshops. And you're like, but look at this sweatshop. You'll point to the facility and be like, look, tiny desks, minimal lighting. They got good eyes because they're younger, so they can see in like poor lighting. It makes sense that who else would you want to be here? Like a middle-aged woman? Please think about it. They're blind as bats in their 40s and 50s. So it makes sense to get the children in the poorly lit room, but no, they want you to spend more money with these costs these days. And that sucks. So yeah, they don't like it when you hire children. So I suppose it's good to get the elderly. One, they don't eat as much either, which is nice. They do kind of eat the same amount of food as babies, so you don't need to spend as much time giving them. Of course, you're not going to be feeding them, but should they bring their own lunch or want to buy lunch, they'll probably need less time eating. Bathroom breaks. I would suggest you, at a certain point, if we're talking, if they're around diaper age, we could put them in the diapers, all right, and just let them go to work and just send them home after after 17 to 20 hours of straight work. You could just send them home, and they could just sit there and just shit themselves in their underwear and their diaper, and that could work. And they might be a little bit slow, so you might have to hit them, and that's one thing that I'll do is like and I don't mean you specific, it doesn't have to be you. You could hire a slightly younger elderly person to be the head, chief whilst you're away, so they can whip them. And the good thing about the elderly, it doesn't take much hitting to, persuade them to do the work if they should ever get out of line, all right? Their bones are brittle, their eyesight is poor, not so much so that they can't work, but still. They won't really be, and the thing is, they all sort of like look alike. So if one of them goes missing, it's extremely easy to just grab another elderly who's not been really cared after or is perhaps alone. You could just bring him in and just kind of like, if anybody asks, just brush it off, and it'll probably go away by itself because nobody really cares after a certain age if people go missing. So yeah, all in all, I think it's a good bang for your buck. And they won't fight back because they're not physically capable. Like if they one day realize that maybe they're not getting paid as much, 10 cents, this is far too low. You can easily kind of like have your way with them, essentially with the iron fist. Like, I don't know where you're gonna get that iron fist. You can buy it online and you can like hit them. You can just type in, so I think eBay, maybe Amazon, type in iron fist. You can rule with that, and then like hit them over the head, hit them over the shoulder. Not too much so that they start bleeding, because you don't want to spend money on you. It's about cutting costs. So you want to spend the money mostly on just getting the material to them so they can work with it. So yeah, don't hurt them too much, but again, it's very easy to intimidate them, which is a nice way to keep your establishment going so you can make profits. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, wagwan student mi familias. Peace out. Get out of here.